we started in Africa, we come back home, Thige. And before we get into controversy, because we started with controversy in Africa, I still want us to get into controversy in Kenya. Before we get there, there's these FIFA friendlies tournament that they have created, and Harambee Stars will be playing on March 21st to March 23rd to March 31st in Rwanda, Kigali. And first of all, I want us to talk about that particular format of the international break, because I particularly like the way they are doing it now, as opposed to having international breaks almost every month, because it was very disruptive for a lot of leagues. We had a lot of complaints from different, especially the European leagues, complaining about the number of times their players were leaving to go and play in international friendlies.
Yeah, so the FIFA series, first of all, I agree, Muriah, that having fewer but lengthier international breaks makes a lot of sense for everybody.
Even the quality, to be honest.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, even for the for the coaches. When you have your players for a period of about maybe 14 days, then you can do something. You can do something meaningful. You can have a training camp that makes sense. You can work on strategies in a way that is meaningful. But this idea that we've had previously, it's like 10 days or thereabout. Guys fly in from Europe. First they fly into Nairobi. Then kidogo, if they're playing a game away, they come for 2 days here. They have 2 training sessions, then they fly away again.
So there's no chemistry. There's no
chemistry. Then you have a game, and that becomes the trend. And then so you never have an opportunity to say strategically this is how Harambee Stars plays, or this is the tactics that they have, So even when you criticize the coach, you're like, no, to be honest, he doesn't have enough time to build a team.
True.
So this is good. This is good. We're going to see better football. For example, even if you look at the Africa Cup of Nations, I don't know whether you observed that. By the time we're seeing the third game of the third round of the Africa Cup of Nations, that's when now you could start seeing
the chemistry between the players.
Identity of teams. Clear identity. In fact, clear strategy, clear, this is how this team plays. They play counter-attacking footballs. This one's play how. You only able to see it by the third game, because these guys had 5 days or 6 days before the African Cup of Nations to work together. That was not enough time. By the time you're figuring out the semis, now you are seeing an identity of a team. So this is good for the national teams, for all the national teams, and I hope this can be kept up.
But I've seen a lot of fans criticizing the quality of teams that we've been grouped up with.
That's a FIFA issue, and for me, the questions I would have is how much of that do we have a choice in? How much of our own football, that period, unless we are playing maybe Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers or World Cup qualifiers, I believe that teams should be given the leeway to map out their own calendars, unless FIFA is paying for it, which I think it is.
It is, for this particular tournament, yes.
You see now, some federations, sorry to say, they will be very happy because they will not have to spend a kopeck.
Well, they'll still have to spend some money, because when it comes to travel, I believe that falls under the federation directly.
Muriah,
there's money we get from FIFA for that.
Muriah, you are in Kenya. You are Kenyan. You have been in Kenya. You know what I'm talking about. There are characters who will enjoy very much a scenario where there's money coming in from FIFA to do such work. I don't want to say anybody is corrupt who has not been arrested for corruption, but I just know that a lot of federations will be very happy, and this will be areas for officials to start taking advantage of. That's very unfortunate, but it's the truth.
Well, it is your truth, but then now let's talk about Estonia, Rwanda, Grenada.
No. First, before I address Estonia, Rwanda, and Grenada, the first question is back to Kenya. What do we want to do with this window? Are we following? Is FIFA telling us what to do with this window? Sawa, FIFA has organized the friendly matches. We're going to honor them. But what is our plan?
Yes.
What are we doing with these matches? What criteria? What is the criteria for inviting players to this national team. We say we are building a team for 2020.
It's more like trials.
2027.
I believe this is an opportunity for you to have trials for your national team players. And trials, why I call it trials, because this is not a competitive match. They're friendlies.
So
bring in some of the fringe players that you've been looking at that you believe can represent the national team.
So we are not expecting to see the same 11 that have been playing and losing the last 4 or 5 matches.
Definitely. Okay, my expectation will be that.
That we're not saying this.
Exactly.
They've lost in a row.
Yes.
4 matches.
4 matches, yes.
4 matches in a row. Kwanza wanafungwa mingi. But I'm hoping this is a window to try out other people. Because we're 2027, we're playing in the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yeah, we are
here in Nairobi.
And you know, by the way, and it's fair that we talk about this.
Yes.
And I know we've not touched on our fellow journalist dissing the East African Pamoja initiative for hosting, and that is the old man gay. But I also want us to look at these slightly differently. The fact that the opening match of the AFCON 2027 is being played in Nairobi. The final match is being played in Nairobi. Shouldn't now Kenya be preparing to play the final at home?
Well, I believe, they should be working towards that. But we've all watched the Africa Cup of Nations. We've all watched it. We have seen the level.
So tell me you're not dissing your own nation.
No.
Telling me you're dissing your own nation.
The truth is, we've just watched the AFCON. You know, it's fresh in our minds. We watched those games, the semi-finals, how tight it was. Paka Nigeria itoboi, paka sijui Ivory Coast itoboi, Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast yangu, Egypt.
So we know how far we are right now, where the gap is, where we are, and where we need to be.
But that's why we need such friendlies so that we can build on it.
But but if we approach these friendlies with the same nonchalant approach that we've had for the last group of friendlies, then we're going nowhere. I saw those games, the one against Senegal, leave alone losing 8-0 or whatever, leave alone the score. But even the planning, some people in the federation saying, oh, we didn't know we were playing Senegal. We heard that we were playing Senegal. You know, like what's the plan? What's your plan? Before FIFA says there's an opportunity to play this friendly, what is your plan? That said, this is very good, playing against different type of opposition. We're used to playing a lot of our games against African opposition. It's nice to play teams from other confederations, but this is only as important as serving a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, then it doesn't matter who you play. We've played Senegal, we've played Russia, we've played top teams. So we've played Iraq, we have played Iran. You know, these are serious teams. When you look at, we played Qatar. Those are serious teams over the last 2 years. But what is the end result? What is the total sum of that whole activity? We have to have strategy. Otherwise, we are wasting FIFA's money and FIFA's time.
I will ask you, Estonia, Rwanda, Grenada, in terms of the quality of competition, because I've seen a lot of Kenyans literally coming out being very critical. And I know our producer will put this tweet by Hussein Mohammed. And Hussein Mohammed has come out to literally defend FIFA. And as you can see right here on your screen, he says, this is a very welcome and forward-looking initiative by FIFA. The FIFA series gives countries like Kenya a rare and valuable opportunity to measure ourselves against opponents from different continents in environments that mirror the demands of major international tournaments. It is exactly the kind of exposure and competition our national team needs as we continue to grow and raise our standards.
Absolutely. I agree with him. Absolutely in all those words, only if they're followed by action in terms of strategy. But the words are absolutely spot on. The question is, what are we doing with that? That's FIFA's plan. What are we going to do to take advantage of it? It's not a problem playing teams that are lower ranked than you. Senegal played us. Russia played us. We have lower ranked by far. So that's not an issue, because to build going forward, even Brazil plays teams that are way lower than them when they're building up to big tournaments. Argentina played Angola the other day. If you look at the ranking of Angola, ranking of Argentina, then, you know, it's like...
Argentina were in Africa the other day.
That's what I'm saying. They played Angola.
Yeah.
If you look at the difference between ranking, it's night and day. So people should not just look at teams ranked below us. We should also remember that we rank below other teams that...
Above many other teams.
We rank below other teams that play us.
And we still beat them.
Yes, or draw. So it's a good opportunity. only if we know what we are doing.
Only if
Otherwise,
we know what we are doing. And ultimately, what Karaoke and I would love to see definitely is bigger challenges, even as FIFA prepares these friendlies that are coming up across the FIFA windows. Now, I said we started with controversy. Let's end with controversy. Over the weekend on Saturday, when Thige and I were in studio, we had a match that was played between AFC Leopards and APS Bomet. Now, in that particular match, AFC Leopards went ahead to win the game 2-1. Now, what we noticed, and I remember asking Thige this on air, was the equalizing goal by AFC Leopards was scored on 90 plus 6 minutes. The winning goal was scored on 90 plus 8 minutes. Now, I asked Thige in studio what he thought, what he felt about that additional time and whether it was normal, because in Kenya, we don't have VR. That game had no major incident. We had no major injury that could have led to them adding the extra 10 or so minutes. Now, we went to watch the AFCON third place playoff match with Thige somewhere, and we met somebody wearing an APS Bomet shirt. And my first question to him was, what happened? Were you at the stadium? And his quick reaction was, we don't understand what has just happened, because these guys, the referees added more than, in fact, he alluded to adding more than 15 minutes to that match. It's like they were trying to ensure that AFC Leopards win. So as much as we are talking about officiating at the African level, can we come back to officiating at home? I know I asked you this question, and you very diplomatically brushed me off by telling me, Murai, we are not on the pitch, we're not at the stadium, so we can't really know what happened. Now, we met a fan who told us exactly what happened. Do you still stick to your very diplomatic answer?
I will still marginally stay diplomatic, because I will need much more knowledge to categorically say this was Ambani time. We've had Faji time, and we all know what Faji time was. You are a big beneficiary
I am.
of Faji time.
Oh, yeah.
So we're saying, was it Ambani time? Or is there something called Ambani time coming up, where you play until you win? Or the game continues until you win?
Until one person wins the game. We used to do that when we were kids.
Yeah.
You'd play either darkness comes or one person.
Or there's a winner. Yeah. So I don't know whether we're descending back into that. But yes, officiating has been questioned also here. When we say officiating in Africa, of course, this is part of Africa, and we are quite African in some ways rather than others. Yeah, and the officiating has also been called to question. But I as I said, Murai, I don't want to cast aspersions on the match officials of that game or make further comment, because I don't have yet sufficient evidence. But it raises eyebrows, and I pray that AFC Leopards' position in the Premier League, which is as impressive as it has never been in almost more than a decade, I pray that their position at the top is purely on merit, as it should be, because for neutrals, we are enjoying seeing that rivalry coming back, where AFC Leopards and Gor Mahia are exchanging the lead, because that's what was happening. AFC Leopards were on top on Saturday night. Sunday, Gor Mahia came back to the pinnacle of
but they're just separated by a goal difference.
Yeah, exactly. But it's it's very healthy rivalry for Kenyan football. And I'm just praying that it looks like that, based on merit, not other
not behind the scenes sideshows. And yes, Gor Mahia went on to beat Mara Sugar by 3-0 on Sunday to see them go level top with AFC Leopards. That is where we part ways for this week. We will definitely see you again on Saturday during the Sports Garage, so be sure to catch us from 3 p.m. all the way till 7 p.m.
Yeah. So we're going to discuss more about Arsenal Man United.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
The Sports Garage, fueling your afternoon with the fire of sport.